You finally got there, the thing you were working toward, the thing you were waiting for, the thing that was supposed to fix how you felt. Maybe it was finishing the project. Maybe it was the difficult conversation finally being over. Maybe it was the diagnosis coming back clear. Maybe it was simply the hard week ending. And for a moment, there was something, a small drop in tension, a breath that went a little deeper than usual. But then, nothing. No wave of relief. No celebration. No finally. Just the next thing, the next thought, the next thing that needs attention. As if the system never got the memo that it was over. This is one of the strangest experiences a person can have, because logically, everything adds up. The problem is gone. The threat is gone. The waiting is gone. And yet the body behaves as if none of that happened. Most people interpret this in one of two ways. Either they think something is wrong with them. Why can't I just enjoy this? Why do I feel nothing? Shouldn't I be happy right now? Or they think the goal itself was wrong. Maybe this wasn't what I really wanted. Maybe I need something bigger next time. Both interpretations lead to the same place, a search for the next thing that will finally produce the feeling that didn't come. But there is a third explanation, one that has nothing to do with the goal, and nothing to do with what you're capable of feeling. It has to do with a gap, a very specific, very measurable gap, between the moment a threat ends and the moment your nervous system registers that it has ended. And that gap is wider than almost anyone realizes. To understand this gap, we need to start with a question almost no one asks. What is relief exactly? Not in the emotional sense, in the physiological sense. Relief is not simply the absence of a problem. Relief is a signal, a specific neurochemical event that tells the nervous system, the threat is over, you can stand down now. And like every signal in the body, it has to be generated. It does not happen automatically just because the external situation changed. This is where something called the reward prediction error comes in. The brain is constantly making predictions, not just about the future, about outcomes. When you're working towards something, your brain builds a model, a prediction of what achieving that thing will feel like, how much relief, how much reward, how much this was worth it. And when the actual outcome arrives, the brain compares it to the prediction. If the outcome matches or exceeds the prediction, there's a reward response, dopamine, a sense of yes, that landed. But if the outcome falls short of the prediction, even if the outcome is objectively good, there's no reward response. There's just a gap, the space between what was expected to be felt and what is actually being felt. And here's what almost nobody talks about. For a nervous system that has spent a long time in a state of chronic alert, the prediction was never just, this will feel good. The prediction was, this will finally make me feel safe. Not happy, not proud, safe. And safety is not a reward signal. Safety is the absence of a threat signal, which means the brain isn't waiting for something to feel good. It's waiting for something to stop. And stopping doesn't register the same way arriving does. There's no peak, no flood of dopamine, just the absence of what was there before. And for a system that has learned to scan, to monitor, to brace, the absence of a threat is not automatically interpreted as safe now. It's interpreted as not yet confirmed. So the system doesn't stand down, it waits for confirmation that never quite arrives in a form it recognizes. But there's something else happening at the same time, something that makes this experience even more confusing. While the brain is failing to register relief, it's also dealing with the after effects of the effort itself. Working towards something, especially something that required sustained focus, sustained tension, sustained vigilance, is not free. It runs on a kind of borrowed energy, a temporary elevation of dopamine and adrenaline that helps the system stay focused, stay driven, stay on until the goal is reached. This is sometimes called the dopamine comedown, And it's not a flaw, it's how the system is designed to work. The elevation gets you through the effort, and once the effort is no longer needed, the elevation drops, not gradually, often quite sharply, and that drop feels like something. It feels like flatness, like emptiness, like is that it? So now you have two things happening at once. 1. The relief signal that was expected never fully arrives because the system is still waiting for confirmation of safety. 2. The drive signal that was keeping you elevated is now withdrawing because it's no longer needed. The result is a very specific kind of emptiness, not sadness, not disappointment exactly. More like silence where you expected sound. And here is where it gets even more layered. For someone whose nervous system has spent a long time in a state of vigilance, of scanning, of bracing, of never quite landing, this isn't just a one-time experience after a big goal. It's a pattern that repeats after almost anything. Finishing a task, getting through a hard conversation, a difficult period ending, even just a good day for once. Each time, there's a small window where relief should arrive. And each time, the system, calibrated for vigilance, treats that window the same way it treats every other moment, as something to monitor, not something to receive. Because here's the thing about a system that has learned to survive through constant readiness. It doesn't know how to do nothing with a moment of safety. Receiving relief requires a kind of stillness, a momentary stand down, a brief suspension of the scanning. And for a system that has learned, over years, that scanning is what keeps it safe, stopping the scan, even for a second, even to receive something good, can itself feel like a risk. So instead of landing in the relief, the system does what it knows how to do. It moves to the next thing. Not because the next thing is urgent, but because moving to the next thing is familiar, and familiar feels safer than stillness, even when the stillness is exactly what was earned. So, let's bring this together. You reach the thing you were working toward. The threat, whatever form it took, is genuinely over. But the system doesn't register over the way it registers danger. Danger has a clear signal. Relief doesn't, not automatically. At the same time, the temporary elevation that carried you through the effort begins to withdraw. And underneath both of these is a system that has learned over time that stillness is unfamiliar. That stopping the scan, even to receive something good, doesn't feel safe. Put together, this creates an experience that looks, from the outside, like ingratitude, like restlessness, like nothing is ever enough. But that's not what's happening. What's happening is a system that got what it needed, and doesn't yet have a mechanism to recognize that it got it. This is not a character flaw. It's not a sign that your goals were wrong. It's not proof that you're incapable of feeling satisfied. It's a gap between an event and a signal. And gaps like this, between what happens and what the nervous system registers, can change. Not by trying harder to feel relief. Trying harder is, itself, a form of scanning, a form of monitoring whether the feeling has arrived yet. The system doesn't update through effort, it updates through repetition, through small moments, noticed even briefly, where something ended and nothing bad followed, where the absence of a problem was allowed to just be absence, without being immediately filled by the next concern. That's not relief exactly. Not yet. But it's the beginning of something the system can eventually recognize as relief. If something in this resonated, not because you're ungrateful and not because nothing is ever enough for you, but because there's a gap your system hasn't closed yet. That gap has a name, and there's more to it than what was covered here. Because there's a question that follows naturally from everything we just explored. If the mind already knows the problem is solved, why does the body take so much longer to find out?